Okay. On the birthday of my wife, we are live. What's up, everyone? How are you doing? Yeah, it is a party-esque day because my wife has a birthday today. But we are going live nonetheless. She is working on her business, and she's also currently working on learning the Dutch language because she's been living in the Netherlands for 5 years. We are also married after 6 years of being together, so she can request the Dutch passport, but she needs to do the language tests. So yeah, she has to practice for that at the moment. So, but yeah, it's her birthday. So there you go. Abiyit Sinaroy, your birthday as well, 42. Congratulations. Congratulations. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. 42. Very nice. Very nice. Still takes a while for me to reach that number. If I can reach it, of course, I hope so. But Abiyit, have a nice day, man. Happy birthday to you. Also, thanks everyone for Ashley. She's also on the top floor, on the top floor where I am. So she will probably be able to hear me saying happy birthday, Ashley, and happy birthday, bro. Thanks, guys. Like, very, very kind of you. Mito Biscuit Boogie, what's up? How you doing, man? Saraga, Curries, KC, potential bounce, potential flat scenario still. Mark Dutch, how you doing? Best intro in the crypto space. You like the song? It's such a banger. It took a while to find it, but it's such a great song. I should actually write a message to the artist because I took it from the non-copyright playlist. But yeah, it's a very nice one. Very nice one. I'm happy with that one. Rob, how you doing? Welcome. Good to have you here from LA. Crypto Paralysis, welcome to the target zone. That's absolutely right. That is where we are right now. Are we seeing a sign of strength? We're going to cover this area to the upside here and have a look at the... I'm now on the 5-minute. I prefer 15-minute stuff, but I am on the 5-minute chart at the moment. But so far, higher lows, higher highs. And we're going to keep an eye on it. Also some bullish CVDs. But let's see if price can touch the 618. There's a reason why it's on my chart. So, and I will explain that, of course. It has to do with Elliott Wave. Bugach, how you doing? KG, nice to have you here once again. How you doing? How you doing? KG, what's up? Good to have you here, man. Great Elliott Wave counter himself. Make sure to check out his posts in Discord. Maybe a Band-Aid, morning weirdos. The fourth wave up, that is what the fibs represent. And that's what the YD618 is important here on my chart as well. Woke up about 2 hours ago. Got in on some of that ETH dip. Very nice, Mike D. Make sure to manage it well. What a day indeed. What a day indeed. Fozzy, welcome. YouTube Shorts, what's up? DXY is down. That's interesting, of course. Thanks, Fozzy. Very kind of you. Sing a song. Nah, this is an analysis channel. It's not a music channel. Cheers, Abiyit, Rob, Otten, Bina, C90. Thanks for wishing my wife a happy birthday. Errol, cheers, guys. Very, very kind of you. Bones, thank you. If we go above 60K, we go up. Let's have a look at the chart, shall we? Jay-Z, what's up? And Samuel, welcome, guys. Welcome. You're here. Like, it's quite impressive how many people joined this time in the first, well, not even 10 minutes of the live stream. Guys, there's stuff happening on the charts, and it's good to have you all here. So we are at support, right? This is pretty much the support area before moving down to 54.4 and then 53K pretty much. So far so good. But in this live stream we're going to do Elliott Waves, probably be online for about an hour and 25 minutes till like 4 p.m. Central European time, because we at the moment have some news, so it's interesting to be live. Or actually not right now, it's only at 4 p.m. but I have to go close after 4 p.m. So we will be able to check what happens at 4 p.m. and if the chart is going to do anything. So I'll be online till about just past 4 p.m. Let's see if anything happens on the chart. And at 8 p.m., 8:30 p.m., I can't provide you with an update in the evening unless it's late at night, but I'm not sure because of my wife's birthday, we go for dinner. So I'm going to be in a restaurant. So yeah, not sure about an update later tonight, but at least we will be here at 4 p.m. Okay, let's cover Elliott waves. That's what we're going to do. First cover the waves on the chart, then we go into chatting and Q&A, and then at 4 p.m. let's see if anything happens on the chart as well. Now, if you haven't seen my morning update, right, the previous video basically, you will hear a couple of new things for the people that did watch it. Of course, there's always a bit of repetition, but there's also some new bits and pieces because we always have a little bit of new information, which also, by the way, that info is that AGGR is down. So we can't actually use CVD at the moment. It says AGGR is down, and I get this random one candle. But I was able, oh, okay, well, there we go. It still says it's down, but at least we can see something. So let's not refresh the chart. So we at least have some information now. Okay, very, very nice. What's up, Christian? How you doing? Wait, sadly I've had my account hacked yesterday, so not being able to trade. It's under investigation. Oh shit. Sorry to hear that, Errol. Oh man, hacking, scamming, like all the stuff in this industry is just, it's rubbish, man. Also with regards to platforms, knowing what platforms are trustworthy or not is like, it's so difficult to know exactly what's going on. Talking about platforms, I actually have a question to you as well. With regards to exchanges. Oksana, welcome, good to have you here as well. But yo, Errol, I hope you'll be able to fix it, man. Hope you'll be able to fix it. So what we're gonna do is, in short form, cover what I spoke about in the previous video update. Of course, America just woke up, so they may not have seen that analysis. We go through the folders and keep an eye on what is happening locally, and also analyze this bit of the chart over here, where we could have a double zigzag WXY here to the upside as a bearish scenario, but the 618 that I had on my chart at 58 something is important. I'll show it on my chart in a second because that's where probabilities start to switch. So let's start. Oh, yeah, I like the platform. Ah, yeah, me too. BingX, been there for ages. Never had problems. Yeah, with hackers, it's the same as like social media accounts and whatnot, man. Like sometimes you're on social media and then out of nowhere you can't log in anymore from one day to the other because somehow your password changed, you know, or your not your passport, your password. Yeah, they're always out there trying to get you. Okay, let's start. We're going to start on the weekly. The reason I like to talk a little bit more about the weekly now is because of course, the sentiment in the market. So I always think it's good to at least show where are we on the chart. We just passed the 11-minute mark, I see, with the live stream, which is good for me to know because that means that after the analysis, I have to put this as a pinned comment. Let's start at 11:30. Easy to remember. What's up, Vishal? Welcome as well. Okay, let's start. Elliott Wave analysis, weekly time frame first. This is one of two bullish scenarios. First one here, 1 2 1 2, bigger double 1 2. We expect a big wave 3 to the upside. This is the most bullish one at the moment because here you still need to have a big wave 3, and a wave 3 is most commonly the strongest, most impulsive, highest volume wave to the upside, right? Those are the big ones, the big boys. So common target for 2 is the 05786 from the low to the high of 1, 42.9k, 31.4k, 302 over here. Uncommon target for 2, 48.7k. The 886, you don't want to hit the 886. Now with regards to this scenario, right? The probabilities are lower still than the other bullish scenario that I will show you in a second. And that's also because of this 1-to-1 and the vertical 1-to-1. So this second wave 1 is a lower degree wave 1, right? We have a 1 here in yellow, 2 in yellow, 3, 4, 5 in yellow. And then inside the yellow wave 3, we have our green count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means that your green count is a lower degree Elliott wave count because it is a sub count of the bigger 3. Now, preferably, if we then have another second wave 1 and a second wave 2, this 1 and 2 is preferably shorter in time and price compared to your first 1 and 2, because this is your highest degree Elliott wave count, right? Usually when you go to lower degree Elliott wave counts, the waves become a little bit smaller, a little bit shorter in time and price. Preferably something like this, right? You have a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then eventually you move to the upside. However, this second wave 1 went past the 1-to-1 trend-based fib extension from the low to the high to the low, meaning this wave 1 is longer. And it's also longer in time. The vertical 1-to-1 is a fib time, taken from the low to the high to the low, comparing yellow 1 with green 1. And as you can see, the high here is made after the 1-to-1. So it does reduce a little bit of the probabilities for this particular scenario. Hence the reason why, as long as this one is valid, is the preferred bullish scenario, where you have a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here wave 3 is already finished, so this scenario is actually less bullish because your maximum target is going to be lower compared to the previous scenario, right? But at least short-term, weekly time frame, you're going to have price moving to the upside instead of further downside in this scenario. So here we have our wave 4, common target area for 4236 to the 05 from the low to the high of 3. I should actually remove the 236 now. Because we touched it, and we are now down to the 382, so that looks a little bit more neat, more clean as well. So interesting area here, 382.05, 57.5, 53.3k, and the invalidation for this scenario is the 618. Hitting the 618 at 49.3k, and the scenario I've just shown you becomes a higher probability bullish scenario, right? So here we then want to see a move towards the upside to finish yellow 3, multi-month range likely in wave 4 before wave 5 towards the upside. Preferably price holds the 382 area here because the 05 is quite low. There's only one scenario I have, which isn't the prettiest one, that does have a target around the 05 for a wave 4. But it would actually be nice if we hold the 382, but that also depends on some low time frame strength, right? Because we've seen a bit of weakness at the beginning of this week, right? When we then zoom in and talk about the bullish scenarios first here, and then we zoom out again, go macro bearish scenario, weekly time frame bearish scenario. Your bullish scenario here being a WXY, where wave W is a regular flat ABC 3, 3, 5 wave structure to the downside in your W. We're looking for a wave X, preferably to end after the 382 fib time, taken from the high or the start to the end of wave W. Because by far most commonly, waves have a relationship with one another of at least the 382 fib time, if not longer. Right? So the 382 is sitting on the 3rd of May. So preferably we finish a wave X after the 382 fib time, where this flat is currently the highest probability scenario for this wave X to finish after the 382. So we have our wave A, 3 wave, zigzag in B, and then we want to see a 5 wave move to the upside in wave C, right? An impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave move to the upside. Finishing wave X, taking the high of A. Wave C is an impulsive structure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is quite interesting because if you get an impulse here from the low, right? We're going to hear the stories online as well of, yo, correction and over, you know, we took the liquidity below the lows, we go to new all-time highs. Is that a possibility? Yes, that's a scenario I have in my folders. Probability-wise, we have to think about wave X first, right? People are going to count this as well as a wave 1, 2, and then a wave 3. Probably I'll do that as well, but with regards to probabilities, this would be a lower probability scenario compared to a wave C and another Y to the downside, right? But here you want to take the high of your wave A, which means that locally we look for proof of support. We've been talking about this area for so long now. So here we have a additional support resistance area, a bit of a 4-hour order block if you go to the lower time frames inside this area, and this is where we are right now, right? This is your common target area for a B, 1.236 to the 1.38 from the low to the high of A. Nicely respected at the moment. On the lower time frames, we might actually sweep the low one more time. Depends a little bit on if we hit the 618, but more about that when we zoom in, and we're going to do that actually right now. So let's zoom in then. Let's go to the 1 hour time frame here. Samuel, the first part of your question is a yes. The second part I would need to check after, but that's a scenario I like to show after this one. So inside wave B, right, ending B here, and then a C to the upside, we want to count a 3-wave structure. So we want to see a 3-wave move to the downside for wave B. Most commonly, wave B is a zigzag, which is a 5-3-5. Right? So wave A can be counted a 1, 2, 3, W, X, Y, and 4, and then we have 5, or we have the potential of a diagonal here, finishing A at the low, very quick, very short zigzag to the upside in a wave B here, hitting the 0.5 from the high to the low of A, which is a common target for a wave B. And then your target area for your wave C can be seen over here, 1 to the 1.618. I tend to include the 1.618 as it's generally, at least on Bitcoin, still quite common to move into that area. So 59.2K, 55.7K, but preferably you're not going to start and move below 55, like 56K, let's say, right? So now on the chart, there's one very important Fibonacci level, which is the 618, which I actually have to move towards the downside. There we go, which is taken from the high to the low. A second line should be this one. Now the reason I call this invalidation, and the reason that the 618 is red, is because if either of these are touched before taking the low once again, or only with a wick and then move up, right, that's fine. Probabilities are higher. This is a 3-wave move, and we are going to take the highs here sooner or later. And that is because of an impulse as an alternative to the downside, where we count this as either a 1, 2, and then you look for another 1, 2 and down, or a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? I'll talk about that in more detail towards the end. But the 618 is very important. In a double 1, 2, in the impulsive scenario, 1, 2, 1, 2, big wave 3 down, this second leg is longer than your first leg in price, not in time. So it does lower the probabilities a bit that this here is a wave 1, a second one, in a 1 to 1, 2. So therefore, preferably in an impulse down, you have a 1, 2, and then a 3, 4, 5, but wave 4 is not allowed to go too high. So yeah, the 618, 63.1K, important. And also you don't want overlap between a low of a 1 and a high of a 4, which means your actual invalidation is 61.7. So that is a level we have to keep in mind. If price is going to range here for too long and then makes a low, forget about this, right? We remove the invalidation. But if price is going to range shortly, wick the low maybe, and then move up, there's definitely interest to hit this level and then move towards the highs. Maybe I'll talk about this in more detail towards the end when we jump into the lower time frame, so I can explain it a little bit more clearly, because I'm not actually sure if I communicated it in such a way it came over, I suppose. But let's first go over the bearish scenarios. And then we zoom in, right? Then we zoom in, I promise. So bearish, right? Bigger regular flat to the downside. It has to be said that a regular flat is an uncommon corrective structure. The expanding flat is the most common flat pattern, where your wave B target is 98K to 122K, taken from the high to the low of wave A. This is a regular flat target wave B, 1 to the 105, which as you can see at the moment is respected, but it is uncommon, a regular flat, right? That does impact probabilities for the bearish scenario. Now what we're looking for here is then a wave C to the downside, which should be an impulse to the downside, right? A 5-wave structure. Target area 1 to the 1.236 from the high to the low to the high, 16.5K to 11.6K, extension target 6.5K. Best area of support is 10 to 9K, where the golden pocket, thank you, Ed, taken from the low to the high, and the value area high of this multi-year volume profile at 9.7K inside the golden pocket is what's causing the support here. 10 to 9K is very, very important. Lower probability still than the bullish scenarios, right? On the 4-hour time frame, the bearish scenario, right, is, as mentioned, this is then your high of your yellow B. You look for a wave C to the downside, which means you want to count impulsive structures to the downside locally. In this case, we have a buildup of 1-2s. 1, 2, 1, 2, another 1, 2, and you want to see a very big drop to the downside in a big wave 3 where your 1.618 is a minimum target, 51.6, taken from the high to the low of 1 to the high of wave 2. What reduces probabilities though is that this wave 2 hit the 886. 886 is very rare for a wave 2, common for a wave B or a wave X, increasing the probabilities that any price action after the 886 is corrective or part of a bigger corrective structure and not part of an impulsive structure. It's not an invalidation, but it's all probabilities. And if you've been following along for the past couple of months, you know that the probabilities of an 886 being part of a wave B or a wave X are incredibly high compared to an 886 being a wave 2 target. So it is something that influences the probabilities, right? An alternative to this, which I saw, I'm not sure if I saw this in Discord, is I saw people talking about the potential of a diagonal. Not yet talking about this because we first need a bounce to the upside and then it is something we can consider it. Yeah? Support to the downside, we are now in the weekly gap. Weekly gap between 59.2, 53K. Closing daily candles in here increases probabilities to fill the gap. If, however, you lose the SR area that we've been talking about for so long now, which is the area here between 57.6 and 56.6K. Now let's zoom in to the lower time frames and analyze this bit in a little bit more detail and also what we have to look for, because that's what's interesting. No? So if we count a wave A, B, and a wave C, right? This is the exact same scenario, but I'm going to put it on my chart again. So like a new one, A, B, C. Then we have our wave 1, 2, 1, 2, potentially like 3, 4, 5, 4, and then a final leg to the downside in a wave 5. Quite a long 5 now though. Where your final move is then a 1, 2. You want to look for a 3, 4, and a wave 5 in this scenario. If, however, you hit the 618, let me actually make this a little more clear. So we do this, right? A, B, C, and then we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Your wave 4 can either finish here or here. That depends on if we hit the 618, yes or no. At the moment, however, I would prefer to put it here. And then you have your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the downside. So in this scenario, preferably, we wig the lows. If price touches the 618 taken from this high to this low, a wave 4 is invalidated, and we're going to count it differently, right? So a wave 4 is then invalidated. Probabilities increase to then move up and take the highs that we have over here. As long as you don't hit the 618, you're in a downtrend. Now, the reason why the probabilities at the moment are for now higher to take the low of 3 is because of the volume with regards to Elliott waves. The highest amount of volume, right, in the recent drop, this drop here, is in this move. And in an impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, by far most commonly, your wave 3 is the wave with the highest amount of volume. Then you look for a wave 4 and another move to the downside in a wave 5 to take the low of 3. Highest amount of volume is in this move to the downside. So naturally, the probabilities remain higher to look for a wave 4 and a 5 unless you hit the 618. Hit that 618. And in the more bullish scenario with an A, B, C to the downside, this green wave C is going to move to the left here. Right? That's then going to be a finished A, B, C structure. Preferably then we want to see price moving towards the upside. 1 second here. Oh yeah. And it would be extra nice if you then also hit 61.7, increases probabilities more that an ABC is finished. And you're going to move to the upside. So that's something to keep in mind. Let me quickly put this in a folder. One, boop. Bearish scenario is that you have a finished 1-2 as shown in this scenario. You can barely see the difference now, but here you can see the recent 1-2, right? 1-2 in blue as explained, 1-2 in white. You're going to be looking for a massive wave 3 to the downside or another 1-2. But the issue with another 1-2 now, and let me put this on the chart as well. Is that your second wave 1 is longer. Take a trend-based fib from the high to the low of 1 to the high of 2, toggle on the 1-to-1. And you can see that the lower degree then, wave 1, is longer in price than your higher degree wave 1, which is not preferred. So it's a bit lower probabilities that this is a double 1-2, right? Which therefore means that the bearish scenario preferably is you're going to be looking for your 3, 4, and then a 5. Now wave 2 in this case was very short in time and normal depth. It hit the 0.5 Fibonacci from the high to the low of 1, which is fine, but it was very short. Rule of alternation in Elliott waves will therefore say that the probabilities are higher for this wave 4 to be a more drawn out and longer corrective structure. Tends to be more complex because wave 2 was a simple zigzag, right? And shallow. Shallow means taking a fib from the high to the low with the common target area for your wave 4 being the 0.236 to the 0.5 Fibonacci. Now we'll talk about this in summary in a little bit because we have a couple of 618s. If price hits this 618 here, pretty much at the same level of the low, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is invalidated as long as you don't have a wave 4 and another drop in 5 and then a retracement. So if you do this, A, B, C, imagine price would move up now, hits the 618, probabilities increase to take the high. Range here for a short bit, take the low and then move up to the 618, increase probabilities to take the high. Range here for a longer period of time and then take the low for a wave 5, probabilities do not matter anymore with the 618, right? Because then a wave 4 and 5 played out. And that is what we try to avoid in the bullish scenario. A, B, C, finish somewhere soon and then move up. You want to hit that 618. You don't want to range here for too long, take the low. Then we just call this a wave 3, 4, and then you just have a 5 down, finished impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And of course you get a retracement, but you would expect potential continuation. Yep. Okay, let me put this in folder 2. I'm going to do a summary in a second. Just thinking quickly. Okay. So on the weekly time frame, probabilities, here we go. On the weekly time frame remain higher for the bullish scenarios. Yes, you have a bit of a drop. From an Elliott wave point of view, right, there is no reason yet to flip the probabilities higher to bearish scenarios moving below 15K. It makes no sense. Having drops of 20, 30, 40, 50% is very normal in bull markets. I've shown this yesterday as well when we were checking this move to the upside over here. Of course, this is an extreme, what is 70% drop, but this was like 20%, 20%, 20%, 30%. You know, here this was also a 30% or something. So it's very normal to have these kind of drops. And before we switch from bullish to bearish scenarios, we first need to lose some significant levels, right? We need to hit some Fibonacci's, for example. Hitting the 618 here would invalidate this bullish scenario. Step number one, right? So we are still in wave 4 price, the wave 4 price target here as well on the bullish, in the bullish count on the weekly time frame. So as long as we don't lose significant levels, the trend is up. Look at the weekly time frame, right? Look at the monthly time frame. You went from 15 to 74. So I don't really get the drama on mainly crypto Twitter, which I rarely ever follow, but it's like I see it all the time. Oh, the bull trend is over. Yeah, well, maybe it is, but there's no argument, right, from an Elliott Wave point of view to be that dramatic. And that's also not what we do on the channel. We take it as it comes. We do it level by level. There's no drama here. I'm not talking about 15 and 500K. We're talking about 74 to 50K level by level, knowing the probabilities, which at the moment on a weekly time frame remain bullish unless the chart is telling us otherwise. On the 4-hour chart, the probabilities therefore are also higher for the bullish scenario, which therefore is on 1, a potential WXY with the flat here. So we have the WXY with the flat. Number 2, by the way, is one that I actually didn't show, so I'm not great to add in the probabilities. Number 2 is that your X is already in, low probability because X is so short, hitting the 0.1 Fib time of wave W, right? Low probabilities. And then this zigzag to the downside, you want an ABC, is then finishing your Y. Y target area 59.2, 51.1. Price action is quite the same as the bigger WXY because you want to see price moving to the upside. So that's another bullish scenario. The final one is ABC, 53.3K to 51.6K, and then move up. But C has to be a 5-wave structure, and at the moment, this is a 3-waver, not a 5-waver. So you still need a 4 and a 5. Doesn't make it great with probability. So the highest probability 4-hour for now, as long as it's not invalid, is having the WXY sideways double combo extension of the range, right? Level by level, we are currently at support as well. So we just wait and see what price does. On the 1-hour time frame, however, and I love the lower time frames, the probabilities remain higher to look for this low. Right, so here probabilities are higher to have at least a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, highest volume in wave 3, range in a 4, take the low in a 5, unless you hit the 618 at 58.8K. Hitting this, right, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is invalidated, and we're going to look for price to move towards the upside, where then the potential is that your C is finished here. That's then scenario 1. Scenario 2 is you go for a bigger wave 4. 1, whoops, okay. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At the moment though, probabilities are higher for this. Take the low before 618 because highest amount of volume in the latest move to the downside increases probabilities that this is your wave 3 in this local move down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you want to have another low on lower volume. If you take the 618, scenario invalidated. And then the bullish scenario, the moment that happens, is going to be A, B, and you see is finished. And the bearish scenario is going to be a bigger flat, where if you hit this 618, again, 61.5K, that is when probabilities really increase to move to the highs, as long as you don't get a big sideways 4. So probabilities on the weekly remains bullish before we start to lose really certain important levels or hit invalidations. On the and we have 2 bullish scenarios. So, that being said, on the 4-hour time frame, also the bullish scenarios compared to the bigger impulse to the downside. On the 1-hour time frame, preferably looking here for another low based on probabilities, as the highest amount of volume is in the recent drop to the downside locally. 1, 2, 3, 4, look for a 5, potentially wick the lows, see if we get support or not. If not, we look for downside. No, if price is hitting step by step this 618, probabilities increase for a bit of a bigger bounce. Either your ABC is then finished, ABC, and you move for price to take the high here at 67k, or we move in a bigger 1, 2, 3, 4, one more drop in a wave 5, and after that we look for price to move up. That is something we'll only know once price starts ranging or moving to the upside, which at the moment is not yet the highest probability. So that is pretty much that. I think I had probabilities. Yeah. What did I? So this was the morning video. Pretty much the same now. So yeah. Yeah. If there's any questions, make sure to ask me. So I guess I just want to make sure I'm very clear. So weekly time frame remains bullish until we lose certain levels. So basically the bullish scenario is over the bearish impulse. Weekly bullish, 4-hour bullish, 1-hour bearish, taking the low before 61.8. If we do take 61.8, it flips more bullish, and then we'll take it from there. And what I had on my chart at the beginning of the live stream is that over here the bearish scenario can be a potential WXY, ABC, correction, ABC, bump, WXY. That's your bearish scenario here. Common target area for your wave Y. And of course, we always look for some proof of support or resistance. And CVD is still down. Look, the yellow line is not moving. So it's not using CVD at the moment is not really great. Yeah. Preferably, I like to wait for a little bit of a longer range here, like more time. So this one was quite nice. Probabilities here, as mentioned in the morning, were higher to move down. Bearish CVD, bearish CVD, bearish CVD. Yeah. As long as price is moving to the downside on high volume from an Elliott Wave point of view with regards to long setups and also shorts in a way, it's always best, this is a tip that I always give, it's always best to wait for a range to form if price is moving impulsively to the downside, as then we can reassess the probabilities once price starts ranging, and we can look at the structures, the retracements, CVD, and all the good stuff. But yeah, that's the probabilities. Weekly bull, 4-hour bull, 1-hour / 15 minute, take the lows once more, unless you hit the 618, which is this one. Hitting the 618, and we're going to be looking for price to take 67k or create a bigger wave 4 where this is your target area. Depends on the structures. So yeah, let's keep this on the chart. See what we get. So yeah, for now, patience. Okay, we started at 11:30. Time for chatting and Q&A. Okay. Okay. We are like in the flat target area as well. So, it would be just at wave C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can end C here, but only if this is your impulse last leg and this is your correction in 4 and this is 5. We get more information if you hit this. So it's just a patience game. It's just a patience game. Hit that 618 or just wait for range to continue and see what signs it's giving us. So very interesting. Put this on. Okay. By the way, before I go into chatting and Q&A, so recently we reached 10K subscribers and we did a giveaway. And we gave away hoodies, t-shirts and caps, all Koens branded. And for the winners, I will send them to you. I am going to order them very soon because I was waiting for this last package, which we now have. So let's have a look. Because I recently ordered a cap, but I wasn't too happy with the fact that the cap I ordered was a very deep. It wasn't a low profile cap like this. It was very deep and it went on top of my ears, which I don't like. So therefore, I decided to order another cap, a more low profile cap. Very nice. Gonna show it in a second. Which hopefully is nicer. Okay, so there we go. I actually have to put it on my head, of course, right? I have to go. I need a haircut, yo. Whoo! Oh my! I need a haircut. Okay. Yeah, it's better. It's better. It's not yet great though. 1 second. Yeah, much better. Much better. I like this one more than the other one. It's still, I don't know, I don't have to, yeah, this one, yeah, definitely better. It's not hanging on top of my ears. So, okay, there we go. Nice, trying to look at it. So if I do this, I can actually see it. Okay, very nice. Yeah. I'm happy. So, oh. Okay, well, there we go. I will compare both caps in quality and yeah, but at least this one is low profile. So okay, there we go. So yeah, not bad. I will check these caps and if I will check this one in a bit more detail later after the stream. And if happy, I'm gonna order all the hoodies, the t-shirts, all the caps in bulk. Make it sent to my house, and then I will send it from my place all across the world to all the winners. So okay, let me have a quick look here what you've been talking about. This fall down. I'm not sure what you mean, Gurov. Let me check for the questions. Vishal, welcome. Good to have you here. Thank you. Heiko, why are you counting the macros 1, 2, 1, 2? Not 3 top, and we are in a 4th wave now. That is the scenario that I showed second, so you were a bit quick there. which still has the higher probability. But I like to sometimes start with a new scenario, so it becomes less repetitive. Fourth wave potential, yes. Legionario, how you doing? Welcome, Barbie. What's up? Good to have you here. Crypto paralysis. What about Marco 1112? You don't like the look anymore? The 1112 is pretty much the same as the wave 4. So I don't want to share all of these scenarios. Like in a 1112, in an extended 5, in a wave 4 followed by a wave 5 on the macro, all of these scenarios are pretty much the same. You're just going to look for the highs to be taken. And when we take the highs, that is when we make a subdivision into what do we actually see and what are we looking for. But I can't show 3 scenarios in a video that literally are the same in how they move. So the reason why in the initial analysis, also this morning, I did it. So in the morning, this is content creation. You can't show everything, not because you want to hold things back, but because the price action is exactly the same. So you're going to choose the higher probability scenario. So here, right, in this flat, we look for a zigzag, right? And then a 5-wave move up in wave C. What the hell? So we look for a 3 and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the price action that we see here is exactly the same as this scenario. It's exactly the same, except for your wave Y then being here. And then you finish your wave Y and you're going to be looking for price to move up. The thing is, the reason I don't talk about this scenario is because the price action is exactly the same, but the probabilities are lower for this scenario compared to the other scenario. And that is why I do not cover it. But once price bounces to the upside, that is when I start covering certain scenarios I have in folders. So if the price action between 2 scenarios is exactly the same, I prefer to only show the higher probability scenario, which means on a weekly time frame, because that is of course where you are at. On the weekly, yes, I still have all the scenarios that you mentioned. I have the extended wave 5, right, with an insane target, 340k. I have the 1112, also still on my chart. Wave 2 can, by the way, retrace all the way to like mid 40s or whatever, right? So I still have that on my chart. But for now, I like to cover these 2 here, right? So yeah, I have them, but I can't show them all because I don't want to confuse people with too many scenarios. And I already know the comments because sometimes once in a blue moon, it's typical. You get a comment of, oh, so it can go basically up, down. They often forget sideways, got to be honest. They forget like sideways. But, oh yeah, so it can always go up and it can always go down. And actually, you have no idea. And then I'm like, did you miss the probability parts in the video, my friend? Like you didn't watch further than the first 3 minutes of the video, or like, what are you doing? So I always limit the content to the highest probability and then take it from there, so that it makes it easiest for people to follow what happens. So because the price action is the same, it doesn't make sense to show it in a video. You just pick the highest probability. And which is also answering the question of Samuel Lopez. Can you finish a WXY here? Yes. Is it the highest probability? No. Also not the double zigzag, by the way, because wave X went above the 0.7 Fibonacci. I've seen that one pop up here and there. However, the price action is the same. You want to see an impulse to the upside above 67, which is then either a wave C, 1, or a wave A, preferably a 1 or a C. Any chance we just, well, I guess I explained or answered this in the analysis. So the answer there would be yes, but we first need to tackle a few levels. Andy, how you doing? According to this chart, we reached top and now in a bear market. No. Siggy, we are not. We're still in a bull market. By the way, if this is your thought, please go to the monthly chart, right? So as long as you don't lose certain levels, thinking about bear market, This is also something I recommend. If you're newer in the market, don't look at Twitter. Don't. Don't go to Twitter. Don't follow crypto stuff on Twitter, because when price moves up, you see people talking about 5 million per Bitcoin, and if price goes down a little bit, they are talking about 5k Bitcoin. So learn, build experience. Don't follow the moon boys. Go to solid channels. Learn how to trade yourself, right? Focus on yourself so that you don't have to listen to everything that's happening out there, which might include my channel as well, right? But try to be confident in your trading. Can we go into a bear market? Of course, there's always the probabilities that it happens. It's just that probability-wise, from an Elliott Wave point of view, are not high at the moment, because we first need to lose significant levels before the probabilities start to increase. And at the moment, we're still at 57k, right? So, yeah. We always need a bullish and a bearish scenario. That is Elliott Wave. So a good analyst always has a bullish and a bearish scenario, but also a good analyst can talk to you about the probabilities per scenario, depending on how nicely it respects the rules, the guidelines, looking at the volume, the extensions, the fibs, and all that stuff, which is what we do here on the channel. That is why in every video and live stream, I have a probabilities section for the past year that the channel is online. Since the 20th of February. Actually, when it started last year, 20th of Feb, in the beginning, I didn't do the probabilities, but the community asked me, the people watching, around, I think 500 or 1,000 subs, they asked like, yo, can you include probabilities? And I was like, sure. So that's when I started to include probabilities, and every content piece I have always includes the probabilities at the end of the video or live stream. The COVID dump hit you on the logarithmic chart, because on the log chart, and by the way, still the 854 is not the 886, but on a logarithmic chart, which is the chart that you need to use on such a high time frame as well here, right, from the low. And this is also typical, guys. It's probabilities. Yes, sometimes you will find on a chart an 886 touch for a wave 2, but it's very rare. It's probabilities that you trade, right? It's not certainties. So you can come in and say, oh, but I found this one level, this one time that actually hit it. I actually start to get a bit annoyed, because it's more often that this happens now. 1 second here. So there you go. 886 not touched. Right? So it's all probabilities. You will be able to find random stuff that happens, but probability-wise, it's very rare. And if you have been here for many months since the channel is live, you know exactly, with this price action to the upside, that the 886 is incredibly, incredibly rare for a wave 2, and by far most common for a wave B or a wave X. Will you find examples where we did touch the 886? Yes, because it's probabilities and not certainties. Okay, so you will be able to find any shit on the chart, but you trade probabilities and not certainties. So it didn't touch the 886. I have a lot to learn about Elliott Waves. It's a fun Elliott Waves itself is incredibly interesting, right? It's a bit of market psychology, which is really fun. And it gives you a feeling you can read the chart like a book, which is what I really like about Elliott Waves myself. So when you look at the chart, the thing is, once you go into Elliott Waves, you won't be able to really go out of Elliott Waves anymore, because your head, your brain is always going to try and count the waves. So, but it's a great tool to have. Andy, the join button is below the live stream, and then a video pops up where I explain a bit more about what the different membership levels are. But in gold is the Elliott Wave course, which is pretty much all of the knowledge that I show in videos. Of course, everything nicely in the right order in video content. So that is the Elliott Wave course. Easily doable in a month, by the way. So you're basically a member for a month, and then people tend to go to silver, some diamond, and some quit. What's up, Crypto Ser? Oku? I'm just wondering, where did you or would you have entered a short on this way down, and why? Well, I would have liked to enter one here at the high, but I was asleep, and I don't put any alarms. Like, I don't wake up for trading, so that was unfortunate. Now, with regards to shorts, potentially one here, the second one here. The high would have been nice once it touched the 05, but yeah, I was asleep. The reason why is that locally here on a 15-minute time frame, if we are looking for an impulse to the upside here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you've seen the video that I posted on Tuesday, the 30th of April, the morning update, which was here around here, you'll notice that the probabilities are higher to take the low, because in an impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 1 and 4 are not allowed to overlap. Wave 4 went too deep, so an impulse to the upside is already invalidated. Then we need to think about a diagonal, but for a diagonal, I only like to think about a diagonal once wave 4 is in, and this would only be a potential wave 2. And then we have a double 1, 2 in a 1, 2, 1, 2, but your second wave 1 was longer in time and price than the first wave 1, lowering the probabilities, increasing probabilities for downside. Now, if a short ended here, right, stop loss goes above here, your target is going to be these lows as a potential first target, and then you observe how price moves to the downside. If you do move towards the upside and take the high, your stop is going to be hit, and then you have a potential 1, 2, 3, either a double zigzag, WXY, which is bearish, better short entry overall in that case, because the probabilities were higher to move down. So your stop goes up here, right? And the bullish scenario would have been a diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you need to move up once more. But by that time, you have enough information to potentially exit at break even. So this was a first entry, move down. If stop hit, second entry, bigger swing trade, because then your stop is going to go above here. Yeah. The second entry is, oops. Second entry, price moving up, price moving down, right? Bearish CVD, bearish CVD, bearish CVD, no sign of strength to be seen. Entry, stop loss would be a bit safer here, not putting it above the highs, but a little bit higher. The reason is that you're going to be looking for a wave force. I would take a fib from the high to the low, take the 0.618 here, put the fib on top of the 618, right? People might say, oh, it's a very big stop loss. Yeah, it's arguably a big stop loss, but that is the invalidation for a wave 4, because you're going to be looking for this, right? And your invalidation is the 618, and then you look for a move to the downside. You reach support now, and potentially you got a bigger swing trade on your hands, no? So stop loss break even and see where price goes. Now here the probabilities are also higher for price to take this low before the high. The thing is, we are now at support. We are at a wave B expanding flat target area. So before entering shorts here, I would like more confirmation. So either a longer range, more weakness to be shown, because we are at support. Yeah. Any thoughts on this whole structure, just a larger W of a WXY? That would be this scenario here, where this is the W, preferably ending here and then X and Y. Because if we want to end a wave W here, wave W can only be a zigzag or a flat. So then either it has to be a 5, 3, 5, which then means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a bigger A, B, and then a wave C to the downside. Common target area for your wave C is where we are right now. Uncommon target, but still relatively common actually, is the 1.618 at 51.6K. However, if this is a wave A, B, and this is your wave C, and in C this is your 1, 2, and you move down in a 3, your wave 3 is usually the strongest, highest impulsive wave to the downside. So you would expect a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where 3 is the longest, highest volume. And you would move below the common target area of a zigzag. So it reduces the probabilities a bit for this to be an A, B, C to the downside in a zigzag. Same in a flat, which is why I don't really tend to show this scenario. Because also here in C, we look for a 5-wave structure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But then it's the same issue. Your 3 is going to usually is the longest, strongest wave. So if this is your 1, 2, we need a 3, 4, 5. Something like this could be okay, and then a move up. But then 3 is shorter than 1. It's not a problem as long as 5 is not longer than 3. And of course, wave 4 is not allowed to hit these lows once you start ranging and creating a range that is the same size as this one here. So that's the reason why I don't really talk about it. I have seen scenarios where people talk about the WXY. This one, either a double zigzag, WX and a wave Y here, or they count it as a flat X zigzag. So for a double zigzag, price hit the 0.7 Fibonacci from the high to the low of W. And that significantly reduces any probabilities of a double zigzag, because a double zigzag is a sharp corrective structure and not a sideways corrective structure. And hitting that 0.7 with a wave X significantly reduces probabilities of a WXY being the correct count. Of course, price can move towards the upside, but the count should be, there's a higher probability for different counts if that happens. The alternative that I've seen is people talk about A, B, C in a W. That's a running flat. Then you have X and then a wave Y being a zigzag to the downside. Of course, a running flat, first of all, is a very rare flat structure. It's the least common flat pattern. And for the target of wave Y, you take a fib from the start to the end of W to the high of wave X. This is your wave Y target area, and you're already below the uncommon target for a wave Y. Yeah, that's another reason why that is not too great. York, that will be a Sunday. Sunday is going to be the altcoin stream. I learned the hard way, and that's why I appreciate the show. I also learned the hard way, my friend. I think most of us will have these type of difficult moments where you learn the hard way, you will have a loss. You will maybe at a certain moment be too greedy, revenge trading, moving your stop loss, liquidations hit, blowing accounts. It happens. As long as you learn from it and be like, okay, I'm not going to do this again. I need a better plan, better strategy, need to work on my mental. I need to do something to improve. So it's all part of the journey. Yeah, the cap. So we got the cap. Now I gotta say though, like 1 second, I'm actually gonna get the other cap. Yeah. So with regards to the caps, right? I think the first cap is like this one. This was the first one that arrived. This is the one that arrived today. So the sticker, as in the logo, looks better on the first one compared to the second one. But the first one drops all the way over the ears. You know what I mean? Like that, and that's like it's too big. You know what I mean? So you can see it's all the way there. And the second one actually does fit better. So it's actually, it's over the ears here. So, even though the first one, I don't know. I need to think about it. It's either that one or it's gonna be that one. So yeah, I will let my fiance or my wife. Whoa, I almost had the word fiance. I will let my wife also have a look at both of these to compare. Okay, whoops, there we go, all the way down. Hello, at this scenario, would you short? I kind of answered this question just now. Do you also count ETH? Well, not on a daily basis, but in the altcoin streams, ETH is usually in the top 5, so it will always be covered. So very likely on Sunday, I will be counting ETH, yeah. But the only chart that I count is Bitcoin on a regular basis, of course, as that is the focus of my trading as well as the channel. And then with regards to the altcoin streams, Ethereum is always up there. It's always in the top 5, yeah. Also on Sunday, to the live chart. Ah, yeah, that's because I turned it off, it seems. There you go. It's on now. CGO, I guess the analysis is up here on a weekly time frame, bullish, 4-hour bullish, 1 hour 15-minute bearish, unless you hit the 618, which is at 58.9k. And if you touch this, probabilities increase to move to 67, or at least move in a bigger range between 61.5 and 58.4. So oh, and we're currently, of course, at support. What's up, Salivian? How you doing? The Elliott Wave rabbit hole. Oh yeah, it is. I swear, once you start with Elliott waves, it's very difficult to not use it anymore. Because the moment you learn a bit about Elliott waves, you're going to be counting all the time. You get this chart in front of you, and all the time you'll be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, correction, range. You know, it's just, and it draws you back into Elliott wave theory all the time. So you're always like attached to it. Your name is Joshua. It's a little bit easier. Okay, well, I'll try to remember Legionario. It's not too difficult, but Joshua, a little bit easier. Yeah, I've also once started to dig in with the recommended book, Elliott Wave Principle by Frost and Prechter. Yeah, it's a great book. It's a nice to have. It's not a must have, but it's a nice to have, and it's definitely a nice book. FOMC meeting going to be bearish. I don't follow the news. I only follow the news because it might induce volatility, which is what I want to know as a trader. Yeah. By the way, I see a package at the top. Maybe a band-aid. Maybe a band-aid, man. Thanks for the support, dude. Maybe a band-aid. I mean, of course, you're one of the people that actually gets a cap, so yeah, can as well get your feedback later on. So now this one went to my wife, so she will get this one. I still have to order all the stuff for the giveaway winners because I was waiting for this cap to arrive, which it now arrived. But she fits this one, but I don't, because it really covers my ears. It goes on top of my ears, and this one fits better, but the logo is a little bit more meh. So maybe I have to write an email and say, yo, can you pay extra attention to the sticker of the logo? But it's also different quality of the cap. It's or a different fabric of the cap, which I think is because it is the same brand. It's the same brand cap. It's just different material. So the logo seems to be a bit more difficult to print on cotton. So that is cotton compared to, what is this? Wait, it's also cotton, but it's a whole different. Interesting. Gotta look into it. Holy moly. Yo, wait 1 second. Maybe a band-aid and Samuel. It's so rare to see a 10 dropper. Holy moly. Samuel, thanks, man. Maybe a band-aid. Thanks for the 5. Samuel, thanks for the 10. That's insane. Community, for the people that got gifted, make sure to thank Samuel and maybe a band-aid. And also, you got gifted a bronze membership. So send me an email, koenztrading@outlook.com, and I will bump you up to silver for the month. So Andy, Admin, Brovioli, Pixel, Senk Karakaler, right? As well as Murtaza, Poopy Cinnamon, Poopy, nice, Puppy Cinnamon, Matthias Marim, Bruno, my man, Lying Brandon, Lucas Fuster-Schmidt, RJ69, Goldie Crypto, Chicago Brew, Anton. Make sure to send me an email, right? And I will bump you up to silver. So you can thank Samuel and maybe a band-aid. Maybe a band-aid. Thanks, man. Samuel, really appreciate it. Thanks for the support, guys. And also just support for the community, because in the end, it's the community that, you know, benefits the most. So really appreciate it. And we got a new member coming in. Enki, what's up? Welcome to the top step of the podium. What's happening? Yo? Crazy. Enki, welcome to the team. Found your way into gold. Welcome, man. It's the send me an email, same address, koenztrading@outlook.com. By the way, everyone, send me your Discord, Telegram, YouTube usernames if you have Telegram and Discord, or either or, so I can get you sorted. I need your Discord, Telegram, YouTube username, and then I can get you access everywhere. So, yo, Enki, same for you. Welcome, man. Hopefully you will learn a lot with everything that is in there. And we also have a weekly Q&A live stream, by the way. Won't be today because it's the birthday of my wife, so we go for dinner. But yeah. Welcome, Enki, Samuel, cheers, maybe a band-aid. My man. Thanks, guys. Insane. It's very rare to see a 10 drop here. FOMC meeting going to be bearish, so yeah, we'll see. I just trade, of course, probabilities from an Elliott Wave point of view. I'm not really focused on what the news is. I just know that, hey, volatility might come. I guess this is monthly Bitcoin divergence forming. But it depends on the indicator that you use. RSI, MACD, CVD, money flow indicator, or anything else, of course. The US just opened, that is correct. So US is open now, 3:30, about 15 minutes ago. Immediately starting nicely with a candle to the downside. And in 50 minutes, we have the news as well. Thank you, Mark, by the way. Mark, always active in chat. Cheers, Mark. BTC, berries, monthly divergent conforming. On what indicator? Gotta say, I like his way of writing. But I can understand. No. I mean, people. I mean, we just passed 100, by the way. Not talking about peaches. Have we bottomed as yet? We are, with regards to a bottom. We first need to hit the 618. Increases probabilities to look for higher prices, and if you then hit a bigger 618. Which is at 61.6k, then yes, we increase probabilities to move to 67. At the moment, there is not yet any reason to be bullish. Probabilities are higher still to take this low before moving to the highs, except for when you hit the 618. What's up, Urban Development Group? Well, counting Bitcoin, you pretty much have a rough count for all other altcoins. Yeah, so Bitcoin, of course, because I do it every day, is specific. And with the alts, I generally tend to be on the higher time frames instead of the lower time frames. Yeah. Like on Bitcoin, I can go all the way down to the 15-minute. But Elliott Waves does take a long time, and if you want to analyze all of the charts, right, on a weekly time frame, it's easier to follow or on a daily time frame, because on the 15-minute, everything changes so quickly. So you can do an analysis at the beginning of the day, and then it plays out, and then you need to look for different things again. But on a daily or weekly, it gives you a lot more flexibility. That question is all answered. Holy moly. Almost all alts are sucked into Bitcoin's gravity. Yeah, partly correct. Usually if Bitcoin goes down, the alts tend to go with. Probably it's higher to take the low, yes. As long as price doesn't hit the 618, that is. This chop is annoying. You gotta love those ranges, eh? I mean, not gonna complain. The beginning of this week has been very volatile compared to previous weeks. So it's actually been a very nice start of the week. How to count the pattern head and shoulders in Elliott Waves as a 4-5 A, B, C. So you have either a wave 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, fake out, continue the trend. This can be a wave 1, 2, 3, continue the trend, head and shoulders plays out. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, continue the trend. So that is the head and shoulders from an Elliott Wave point of view. Do you think Bitcoin will fall to 50K? I mean, losing, I would expect a bounce before hitting 53 actually. But if you lose 56K, then 54.4 is next, which is only a little bit of support. The bigger support is 51.8 in that case. So, yeah. It's all probabilities. If price hits the 618 here, probabilities are higher to either continue ranging or look for 67K. Depends on the structure to the upside in that case. So, yeah, 50K is, it's still a target. 51.8, 54.4, but we first, level by level, we first need to lose this area here. Can we enter on sell now? That depends on your plan or your strategy. You can always buy, you can always sell, but you should try to have an edge in the market, right? A certain plan, a strategy, something that you feel comfortable with, and then you follow the plan. So preferably you build a plan following these 6 steps, which if you follow these 6 steps, really increase your probabilities of being a consistently profitable trader. Most people quit at step 2. Step 1, try as many free tools as you can. Just use the stuff on TradingView, indicators, right? All the free stuff. Step 2, find your favorites, right? Find your favorite tools, build statistics on these tools. Get your Excel sheet out and build statistics. Step 3 is combine some of these favorites. Now you're building a strategy because you're combining them, and build statistics on the combination. Step 4 is tweaking and adjusting. Add a tool, remove a tool to the combination, build more statistics, because now you're trying to improve your RR or your win rate. Step 5 is you start trading the strategy with a low amount of money and work on trading psychology. Working on trading psychology, get the book The Mental Game of Trading by Jared Tendler. Link is in the description. Yes, it's an affiliate link. And that book will help you to realize what goes wrong from a mental perspective and how to work on it, right? It has a system as well. It's way better than Trade in the Zone, very outdated. The Mental Game of Trading for me is the #1 psychology book, so I recommend it. I've been through it myself. I use it for exercises and everything. And then step 6 is start trading it with a higher amount of money, slowly increasing that budget because you have to get used to bigger losses. Follow these 6 steps. You have a very good chance of being a profitable trader. Follow these 6 steps and you'll probably be working on creating a strategy for at least 3-6 months, if not 1 year or longer. Now, the question you got to ask yourself is, am I continue trading without a plan or a strategy and then hope sometimes I'm right, but most often you're probably going to be wrong. Unless and the plan can also be DCAing and that sort of stuff, right? So are you gonna develop a plan and a strategy, preferably based on statistics, that will help you out in the long run? If you want to be a trader in the long run, investing 3-6 months, 1 year, 1.5, 2 years to develop a solid plan or strategy is going to be an investment in time that's going to pay you out for the decade after or the 2 decades after. Because that is where you're going to create the money, right? That's where you get consistently profitable. So follow the steps. Create the plan, invest that time into yourself. If you're like, oh, that's not for me, I'm not sure if this is the right industry as well, right? So buying an indicator for $500 that shows green or red doesn't work. You still need to create a whole plan around it, still need statistics. So you will need to get into building a plan sooner or later. Can't wait to start the Elliott Wave course. I'm gonna send me an email. I'm gonna get you access, of course. But welcome, Enki. Of course, maybe a Band-Aid, Samuel. Thanks, man. I also was gifted, so that's the thanks back. Yeah, cheers. I mean, it's really valuable to the community because people get bumped up to silver. They get some stuff. It's nice because, of course, it's a membership, but it's not just a donation, and it's $3 for bronze, but it actually gives a benefit to someone watching as well. Which is nice. So really, really cool. Thanks, guys. And Enki, welcome to Gold. Can you get one too, the cap? Yeah, so I don't have a merch store or any other place where you can buy it. So these have been just made by myself, these caps, right? With the logo, both of them, because I have 2 caps here, both navy blue. Gonna compare the quality, decide what I want. But yeah, I don't yet have a store. So currently the caps, the hoodies, the Koens branded hoodies, and also the t-shirts are all very unique. FOMC could already be priced in. Yeah, possibly. It's always interesting though. We might of course see some volatility in 7 minutes. Can you sell now? Depends on your plan and your strategy. Wait, Samuel asked a question about CVD, I guess. Yo, Samuel, if there was a question about CVD, then Mark is correct in that I made a video about CVD. It's on the homepage. Probably if you go to the homepage, it's at the top. If not, just go down and here it is, CVD, this one. And in Discord, I made a 1-pager in the Good to Know channel where I explain CVD in like detail, I suppose. Also the video, click here, the video is here. I also have the link, AGGR, and my template, right? And there's also CVDs made by Dario, amazing guy, for ETH and Sol in here as well. Also, by the way, I added this, everyone. I didn't make an announcement about it, but ATAS and the ATAS templates that I use are in here now as well. The 51K zone will offer some support. Yeah, I think so too. 51K is an important area. Control Z, please. Yes. It's a very tiny area with quite a lot of support. So, range point of control, monthly point of control, and the weekly level, all inside that area here, the blue box 51.6, 51.9. We do have one more point of control at 54.4 though, as you can see. So yeah, on the 1 hour, probabilities remain bearish to take the low, unless we hit that 618. We might be looking for a bit higher. I think he is AI generated. The whole webcam, everything I do it's all AI. The analysis is AI, trading AI, the YouTube content AI. Today, fade meeting crucial, potentially, yeah, potentially. I'm living in the Netherlands, I will move to France though, later this year. We need some cool raccoons emojis for the YouTube members, yeah. Might need to ask Dawa or Arbuzny Sok maybe to make a few emojis, and also like what type of emojis, you know. Develop your favorite tools, meaning create templates for things like target areas. Yeah, but this is of course develop favorite tools is quite specific, as in now you're talking about waves as well. So that's Elliott Waves, which can be a tool you want to use. But with regards to develop, of course, if you're a coder or someone in IT, you can develop indicators yourself. But for the biggest audience watching, it's best to just use all the free stuff and not necessarily develop yourself. So for example, I went through all of these 6 steps myself to create a strategy that I still use today outside of Elliott Waves. So, and it's 100% based on just free tools, building statistics, like all of the steps. But of course, if you're handy with IT and you can develop your own stuff, that is a nice benefit you have. I guess to develop stuff, you also need to at least have some sort of experience with other tools, and in this case, potentially the waves. So yeah. And of course, specific to Elliott Waves, it definitely helps to have your templates, your trend-based fib extension and your fib retracement templates. Absolutely. Almost 1%. Refresh your chat. I'm scrolling down. Did the news came out in 2 minutes? 2 minutes. News will be in 6 minutes. Yeah. Well, yeah. So the Netherlands. Do you trade with leverage? Yes. What news? This one here, 4 p.m. I have no idea. Something with jobs and something with manufacturing. Only thing for me is it might increase volatility, 4 p.m. And then 8 p.m. is some Fed stuff. Nope. So as far as my knowledge goes about news. You were not able to import. Yeah, of course, first download it. But, oh, wait, that's because AGGR at the moment has some issues. So AGGR might be down because the template works so far for everyone that used it with regards to downloading. So, of course, first you download the template, save it somewhere, go to AGGR, go to settings, click on new, select the template, put it on the chart. But AGGR earlier today was down, and I also had some problems with, yeah, it still says it. So if I quickly screenshot this, you can actually see it. Also for me, it says 1, 2, 3, AGGR is down. So yeah, I'm just lucky. Sometimes it, like, I open a 3 minute, I get a few candles, but now it doesn't load the rest. So it's at the moment, AGGR is, yeah, it's down. So we need to wait. It doesn't happen often, but it can happen. Always delivered at the end of the day. How often did we pump after the FOMC speech? Would be an interesting one for the statistics, I suppose. Main news starts in 4 hours from now. Yes, tonight at 8 p.m. Yeah. What does AGGR do? AGGR is a website where you can have a look at many different indicators, volume-related things. It's just a platform where, you know, there's a lot, and it's very nice. So it's not TradingView. CVD, for example, AGGR is a lot better. than on TradingView. So preferred, right? But they have more things and they constantly add things as well. They have community here. So yeah, you can have a look and maybe there's something you like. I have a very, very basic AGGR window, but you can put so much information on your window. Yeah, it's just a very nice platform. Liquidations, bigger positions coming in and out. I don't know, lots of stuff. Do you have a setup guide for the retrade? I started to construct something. Samuel, that's in gold because I can't share these because it's TradingView, so they're not saved on the PC or in folders. So of course I have all the templates here, and in the gold membership, the Elliott Wave course, I have a video where I went through each and every trend-based fib and fib retracement template, including the scenario where it's used as well. But what I recommend is, if you want to get closest to all the stuff I have, open the description, scroll down a little bit, go to educational sources, Elliott Waves. This website is the bit.ly website /Elliott Wave detailed. Here you also see like stuff like targets and things and retracements. So this is a very good website to use. For me, this is the best Elliott Wave website that I was able to find. If it's purple, we'd pump. Mr. Mahesh, welcome. Namaste. How you doing? Just don't play drinking game. By the way, the news, a little bit of news is out, I suppose. This is the 4 p.m. candle now, which is right now, 4 p.m. These two things here. Let's see if anything happens. No. Every time Paul brings up data. By the way, I sent an email earlier today summarizing the journey on YouTube for a little bit, and it's insane how quick everything went. So just thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, even being here, just listening, because it's been a crazy year. The channel is online for a year, few months, but I was gone in March this year, so I don't really count it. So pretty much 1 year and 1 month and a few weeks, and it's insane to see a 5-digit number. So, and the community being very active as well in Discord. I do keep an eye, as always, on the community, especially Bitcoin TA is very, very active. We got something in general. How much is a signal group here? We don't do signals. And besides that, I suppose, talking about signals, so we don't do signals. But I do share setups or things I'm interested in. So I have a Koens Trades folder, Elliott Wave Trades. This is the old one. So sharing these type of things. And then in Koens Setups, that's where I share either setups that I actively take or setups that I'm interested in taking if I see what I want to see. So in the Koens Trades, in order to get into Koens Setups, just follow these steps. Where is it? These ones. If you're from the US, UK, or the Netherlands, send me an email. Yeah. Oh, that made me think, by the way. So recently I've been chatting on YouTube about, hey, some people most people from the UK, the US, and the Netherlands are not able to make an account on BingX if they wish to support the channel, and I get that email regularly. So I've been looking for other platforms. Of course, I've been chatting to you, and I know that previously a platform called BTCC was mentioned in the YouTube comments or in the YouTube chat, live chat. And it so happened also that they emailed me a few days ago. So does anyone have experience with BTCC? I've done a bit of research, read some stuff. It's the same as any other platform, really. you read the exact same stuff as any other platform where the fees are the same. Now, well, this platform exists for 12 years now, since I think 2011 or 2012. They are licensed in the US by what, fintech, I don't know exactly, in Canada and in Lithuania. Known as one of the trustable, very trustable platforms as well. And might consider this one for US, UK, and the Netherlands. So if anyone has experience, let me know. And with regards to the negatives, it's the stuff that you read everywhere, because every platform always has an article about scam. So, you know, Bybit scam, Binance scam, everything is scam. If you Google for, is like insert platform name and then write scam or, you know, it's the same everywhere. But based on the research I've done so far, it looks like a solid platform. Fee stars are the same. They have over 200 coins, regulated in US, Canada, which is most important. So, I have used BCC, trustable. Thanks, Samith. Appreciate your experience there. Yeah, I also asked the Diamond Group about some information, but it looks like a very good platform. So I might add that one to BingX for US, the Netherlands, and UK people that want to support. Would you prefer BingX over Bybit? Yes. That's also why I changed, by the way. I started on Binance when I started back in the day, because when I started, I needed to learn more about the cryptocurrency industry because of I was a host on television, so I needed to learn more about the financial market because I was going to host a television show about the financial market. So I learned about crypto through the Binance Academy, which therefore got me to Binance. Very soon after, I went to Bybit, and then actually quite quickly after Bybit, I moved into BingX because I prefer the look and feel of BingX, putting in positions in USDT or BTC, or I can just choose in the futures area. The liquidity is good. Yeah, I like it. Of course, usually the price on BingX is a little bit lower than my Coinbase chart, but that's no problem. It's just like a few dollars difference. So yeah, I do prefer BingX. Which is also, so I used BingX already before YouTube. And it's also one of the reasons why it's a partner, because I use it myself, you know, and I want to practice what I preach, I suppose, is the quote. With BTCC though, I'm now checking it out, made an account as well. And it looks good so far for US, UK, Netherlands. So yeah. Oh, I'm actually getting called now. 1 second. Okay, there we go. Just a regular check on the reservation that I made tonight at the restaurant. It's a very nice place, and I just wanted to make sure that everyone comes. So I don't know, they call and be like, "Yo, just want to confirm your reservation." I'm like, "Yep, we are there." Mark is famous, yo. Nate, hello, sir. Can you please tell me what Elliott Wave indicator you're using to label the current chart price section? I'm using the Lux Algo. It ain't give me the current price prediction. Well, in that case, Nate, it's quite an interesting question. The indicator that I use is called koenztrading, and it is an indicator that has been developed in about 3 years and 3 months, almost 3 months. So in about 3 years and 3 months, it took to develop the indicator that I use. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not in the indicator section in TradingView. Not yet, maybe one day. But what I'm basically saying because I like the question, so it's just of course a bit of sarcasm. But what I'm saying is I don't use an indicator on TradingView for Elliott waves. I have not found any indicator on TradingView with regards to Elliott waves that is outperforming my count. And it's not an ego boost here. It's just that the indicators cannot read the price action that you can do yourself if you are trained in Elliott waves. So you will be able to outperform the indicator relatively quickly. In the beginning, you might want to use an Elliott wave indicator just to get the general idea of, hey, we're looking for an impulse or a corrective structure. But the indicators are not good. So once you start learning Elliott waves, you will notice that quite quickly you will outperform the indicator. And that is why I do not recommend using Elliott wave indicators, because it might teach you or show you wrong things that you can do better yourself. So of course you can use it, but I think it's just not worth it, even though it's free. But yeah, I would recommend to learn it yourself in a way. Of course, learning takes time, and an indicator skips the learning process. But the question is, repeat the sentence. Of course, learning Elliott waves takes time, and using an indicator skips the process of learning Elliott waves. But your accuracy is way higher learning yourself than using an indicator. So I recommend learning it yourself. Yeah, and you will quite quickly outperform any indicator in Elliott waves. Yeah. So unfortunately, I can't recommend any. I have checked some of these indicators in the past, but it's just not. I don't even know here. Oh, Lux Algo 8K. I click. I go to some random. Oops, I have no idea why this just happened. EP. Editor pick. Okay, but can I just click? Oh, there we go. Remove this. So yeah, it doesn't even have a. So, and this is also typical. It doesn't even count all the ways. What is this, right? Why didn't it count this? Why didn't it count this? Where's the count over here, right? Yeah. So where's the count? Where's the zigzag to the upside, right? How do we label this? Yeah, it's not great. How is it so it's also not labeling the whole range, right? So like it didn't count this structure as well. Yeah. That's also an interesting one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The wave 1 starts here. But what is this then? Right? Why don't we have a 5 wave here? Right? What So yeah, you know what I mean? Change the time frame. Yeah, you'll probably, it's the same problem. It's maybe it's even worse here. Like, so where's the count, right? Where is the count? How do we count the beginning of this move? How come wave 1 starts here? You can't, right? So yeah, and also, how do we count this move down? If we end this with a wave 5, right? Then what is this? You know what I mean? So very, very, very quickly, you are gonna outperform any indicator with Elliott Wave. Look at this here. Right, I can go higher to the daily, but it's going to be the same issue here. Yeah, I mean, what's this here, right? Also here, another gap. So it's a nice try, but oh, also here, incorrect. So that's an interesting one. Your wave 1, right? Oh, this is a very interesting one. It ended wave 5 at the lower high, which is a truncation, which is incredibly rare. You want to end wave 5 here, not there. Right? That's very rare, very, very rare. I don't think I've ever seen a truncation wave 5, especially not on such a high time frame. So yeah, I don't recommend using using indicators, because you will very quickly outperform any Elliott Wave indicator. Yeah. Of course, it takes time to learn, but this is part of the process of trading, I suppose. Yeah. Seriga, you need to participate in a trading view tournament that I wrote about in the lounge. You can win there. I have to check it out. I haven't yet actually seen it, but yeah, it could be interesting to have a look. But I guess that if this is a because you wrote something about it's, I think, a paper trading competition with a certain amount of money you wrote in the group, if I'm not mistaken. The thing is that, of course, you're going to have the people that are going to go balls deep, all in, 100x, whatever it is. And I'm a very patient, consistent trader. The people with the high leverage, high risk, balls deep, hopefully they get stopped. But usually those higher risk, higher reward are the ones that eventually take it. You know, you can be slow and consistent, making a couple of R per month, but in a competition like this, it doesn't mean anything, because we're not just talking about a few R in a month. There's going to be people here that are probably going to 40x their account, which is not something that I do, unless I'm going to trade with a style that I don't trade with myself for my personal funds. So of course I can trade Elliott Waves or the other strat with an incredibly high loss, right? Very high risk. It's just not something I do myself. So yeah, I can participate for fun, but I don't really expect to be one of the top traders, because slow and steady, less is more is something that works for me. Mohammed Saidi, I saw your questions earlier about can I go short, shall we enter? I've answered these questions. The analysis is shared above. The probabilities have been mentioned multiple times. Sir, you need a fucking plan. So instead of, if I get another question like this, my friend, I am sorry, but I am gonna kick your ass here, because I have been very respectful, but I'm done with these questions. Make yourself a plan, get yourself a strategy, never ask that question again, right? I don't mind people asking questions like, hey, so what should I do? Do I go long or short? I talk about the steps you need to take to become a consistently profitable trader. I talk about probabilities in all of my videos. I explain how probabilities change if certain levels are hit. It's literally all there, no financial advice. This is probably the 10th time that you write this now. So stop typing, stop YouTube watching, go offline, get the chart, get an Excel sheet, get a pen and a notebook, and collect fucking data, okay? And then once you got yourself some data, then we talk. Okay? That's how we're going to do it. Now, I don't mind these questions once or twice or 3 times, absolutely fine. But don't keep spamming this stuff in my chat, right? I'm Dutch, I'm very direct. I don't care about it, but it's enough. So if you want this question answered, go to the Moon Boys. They'll probably have a great answer for you. I had a better answer, but I'm putting you to work. If you don't want to put in the work, you're going to ask these questions in all of the live streams. You, my friend, can better get all your funds off the platform, because you are going to lose money, not win money, right? Follow the steps, get your ass sorted, right? And if people think, whoa, he's very rude, right? Then probably you're in the same boat. So I've answered these questions already. Like, I think in the past hour, this is about like the 10th time that I see this from you. So get to work, right? Get to work. Stop trading, build statistics. Get a plan, get a strategy, get something going. You know, like don't bother me with that rubbish. He's probably not even here anymore. He's probably in like 5 live chats asking the same question. Yeah, where do we go? Is it a good time to long? Is it a good time to short? What should I do? Mate, I already said what you should do, which is building a plan. I think it's time to go. Sun is shining. Yeah, and going for dinner, of course, as well. FOMC speech, no trade for me. It is more risky, absolutely. Probably shouldn't bring up my trading volume this morning then. At least it was during the morning, not yet during the news later on in a couple of hours. But yeah, maybe we get some spicy price action. The cap on position size is so little on TradingView. Oh, there is a cap? If there's a cap, it makes it more interesting, I suppose. But I haven't checked it out. I didn't read the rules, and you know, so I would need to have a look. Decisions must always be your own. Absolutely. Maybe a band-aid chefing. Yup. My name is it's with a C, no? I think, isn't it? What's up, robot? Hiding. They just want, yeah. Thanks, by the way, Nathan. But also, yeah, it's looking for the shortcut, not willing to invest time and energy into developing something. Like, it's the same. What's that quote in English where you have the learn someone to fish? No? Oh yeah, well, learn someone to fish themselves and they can eat the rest of their life. No, it's the other way around. You know what I mean? The quote with the fish. Give someone a fish and they eat for a night. Learn someone how to fish and they eat forever, or something like that. You know? Teach a man to fish. That's the one. That's the one, yeah. You missed the daily steps, robot. You got saved. You've already heard them multiple times. Yeah. Koen, look at here. Wait, that is the word. Wait. Where are you from? Quick rest, we're getting a trade based on answers from the internet to questions with should I? Yeah. If someone answers that question, right? If someone says go long or go short, and someone answers that question with actually go long or short, run. Unsubscribe. Right? There's a problem here. Can't be good. Close one, Kumalasa. You made the T, the H became a T. Cheers, Mohammed Saidi. Cheers. Of course, it's meant well. But I think the most important thing is build a strat, build a plan. Put work into developing something that's going to benefit you for the next decade. And it might take you some time, but it will build confidence. It will improve your trading psychology, your knowledge, your experience, your profitability. Thank you, Cupolini. That is the one. I am in step 2 of 6. I plan on putting any sort of trading on hold until I get my techniques up to a better level, especially on corrective. Yeah, Elliott Waves go slong. Oh, what's up, Liquid Mafia? Yeah, go schlong. Or what some people do, go 50% short, 50% long, and then see where price goes, or I don't know what they do. You know, it's hot to trade inside the house. That's true. Yeah, Rob, I think step 2 is unfortunately where most people quit, but that's where the biggest gains is, because that's where you get into the habit of collecting statistics, routine, and you will see progress as well. All the statistics starts with tracking one thing, and then, you know. So, and with Elliott Waves, there's of course already a strategy which is for decades based on stats from the Elliott Wave International. So there it's all about learning. You know, step 2 is getting the hang of Elliott waves. Yeah. In an expanded flat where wave C is an ending diagonal, what fib level does it most commonly end at? That is the same. So the 1.618s are most common. So we have your wave A, expanding flat B, and then you have your wave C, which eventually then turns, of course, into a diagonal structure, right? Common target area remains the same. So it is between the two 1.618s. And a less common target is the 1.236 to the 1.38. That is a target that I rarely ever talk about because it is uncommon for price to turn around there. But even for an ending diagonal, your common target area is between the two 1.618. Taking the low of A as a minimum requirement. The 1.236 to the 1.38 is a very shallow target, not common, and the 1.618 is the most common, and the 2.618 probably not in an ending diagonal. Exactly. Hedge your hedge position. Yeah. You never know. Could we have an ABC or WXY for big wave 2? This is the wave A that could end 44. Then up 68, then down 29.30 to finish big wave 2. Well, in that case, we are looking at the 1112 to the downside, and of course you want to have very strong continuation to the downside in that case, where 44.48 is a potential target for the big wave 2. So yes, let me have a quick look with regards to time, but that's still very hypothetical, right? We definitely don't have that information, but if we go to this one, time, mm-hmm. 20th of May minimum, preferably. So of course you would have a 1 2 1 2 1 2, then you need a 3 4 5 4 5 4 5 retracement in B, and then a wave C. So it's still too. It doesn't have the highest probabilities yet. It's too hypothetical still. Yeah, too vague. Wait, what's up? Disappoint me. What did I miss? Did I miss anything? It's crucial to know. I am from. Can I get the real answer from you in 1 minute? Koen, look at here. What is the meaning of? I don't know the word, so I'm not, of course, going to say it. But yeah, I don't know. Did I miss anything? Do you use Elliott Wave channels? I prefer horizontals over diagonal lines, unless it's diagonals or triangles. So I don't really like to use channels. I don't use them often. Of course, in corrective structures, generally channels work very nicely, and you can use them for impulses as well. And I know how to use them. It's just I don't really like to use channels in my Elliott waves. I prefer to really focus on the price section, counting the waves. But you can use it, absolutely, and it can be used very efficiently. It's just I don't really have that style. The question about the liquidation heat map. Can you repeat the question? Was it about if I use it or if it's good or something like that? Because if that is the case, then yeah, sure, heat map can be very efficient. Would you mind repeating the question? What's your opinion on prop firms? I mean, very good to use. I think if you don't have a lot of money, only trade with money you can lose, by the way. So if you don't have a big budget and you have a plan or a strategy that starts to look good based on data, like, hey, you know, there's some profitability here and I think I can make this work. Yeah, I mean, you can absolutely do a prop firm challenge and see if you pass it, because it's also a very, very hard trading check, right? Like if I can't pass a challenge, something's wrong and I need to improve somewhere. But you also get data. You get your trading data. So you can quite easily find a mistake or know what's going on and why you lost the challenge. Now, if you do something like this, don't go for 100, 200, 400K challenge, whatever the high budget prices are now. Go for the cheapest ones, right? 1K, 5K, 10K. And first try if you can pass that challenge. Because if you can't, of course, it's a waste of money to go for the higher ones. Also, if you do a challenge, go to the known, respectable companies. Don't go to the ones that just launched this year, and because it's a very profitable business plan, right? They earn a lot of money. So of course, left, right, and center, you see prop firms coming up, and also then regulations take them down again. So go to the trustworthy companies, right? I'm familiar with FTMO, and they are one of the first ones and are very respected in that particular niche. So that would be one that I would recommend, I suppose. And then start low, start with the cheapest, cheapest account size, and see if you can make it work. Because if you can't pass the challenge, it doesn't make sense to trade with your own money, and you'll lose it. So yeah, and it's a nice check, I suppose, to see, can I do it or can I not do it? And if not, then you also get statistics, as mentioned, to review your trading. Be sensible. Don't just keep buying new challenges. Learn from them. But I think it's better to do a challenge than trading your own money, blowing accounts because of too high leverage, and then blowing another account and another account, and So I want to know how you use liquidation heat map. I don't use the liquidation heat map, so I won't be able to answer your question. Maybe someone in Discord or someone else knows, but I don't use these. I don't use CoinGlass as well. So I'm sorry, I won't be able to answer your question there. Does not look like a good wave 4, waiting to see this range. Yeah, just being very, very patient here. So far, this can still be a double zigzag WXY to the upside between the 05382 and start of a new impulse down to take the low. And if we hit the 618, probabilities increase to fill the gap, move to this range at least, one would expect, around 60K, and potentially continuation. But yeah, probabilities are high to take the low unless we hit the 618. YouTube can ban some of the words that people use, or can zip back. If you write a message and use maybe a certain word, then YouTube might not accept the comment. Doesn't happen often, but it can happen, like a forbidden word. Yeah, thanks, Mark. Yeah. How do you measure the target of the wave 5 we consider wave smaller 4s in? 55K as a support. Why is that? I don't really have anything at 55K. So yeah, this. So yeah. The only thingy at 55, I mean, there's a little order block here at 55, 54.4, but there's nothing for me at 55 really. With regards to a wave 5 though, if you're looking for a wave 5 and the end of your 4 is in, you take a fib from the low to the high of 4, then you toggle on the 1.236 to 1.618, that's target number 1. Target number 2 is take a 1-to-1 fib from the high of 1 to the low of 1 to the high of your 4, which is irrelevant because the 1-to-1 is here. Second one is the 0.618 from the start to the low of your 3, which arguably might actually be here or here. That's the question. Let me just use the low. To then the high, 0.618, which is here. And then you create yourself an area for wave 5. So those are the tools that that you can use. The 0.618 taken from the start of 1 to the end of 3 to the end of 4. Then you have the 1-to-1 from the start of 1 to the end of 1 to the end of 4. And then you have the 1.236 to the 1.618 from the end of 3 to the end of 4. Those are the, and that creates a range for a wave 5. What happened to the ABC and the wave 2? This is a wave 2 ABC here, which is finished in this case. If you're talking about this ABC for a flat, that's of course still ongoing. Maybe it was too dumb. Didn't show up again. It's probably, it must be a forbidden word. Must be a forbidden word there. You can always post it in Discord. In Discord, we don't have those rules per se. What's up, Syed Kumar Singh? How are you doing? Always learning whenever I see him live. With all the learning, short paid off. Very, very nice. Good job, Syed, this guy. He's been trading like a boss. Very good, Syed. It's nice to see that you put the learnings into practice. And the short paid off quite literally. Congrats. I'm logged in now on leverage. Any advice? Depends if you're long or short. If you're short, you're having a great time. If you're long, it's of course a bit of an issue, where the problem was made, or the mistake was made before entry, and not actually the position now. So it depends if you're long or short with regards to the advice. How accurate Elliott Waves is and why? Oh, I see. Elliott Waves, in the beginning, we have two things, right? We have skill level, right? And subjectivity, okay? So in the beginning, your skill level is low, which means your subjectivity is very high because you actually have not really any idea what's going on. You're trying to count, but you don't really know probabilities and all the invalidations and all the rules. Subjectivity is high. The more you're starting to learn Elliott Waves, the more you implement it, that balance is shifting. And eventually you get to a certain moment where the subjectivity is low because your skill level is high. And that then means that you will be able to be very accurate with your probabilities, which then can be traded. So the accuracy of Elliott Waves is very much on the analyst. And at the beginning, everyone is shit. So me too, right? In the beginning, I was very bad and my subjectivity was high and I was wrong all the time and I didn't understand why and I was learning, didn't work out. But as time passes, your skill goes up, which equally means your subjectivity goes down. And you'll be better in accurately identifying wave structures, invalidations, rule guidelines. Yeah. So I trade Elliott Waves together with other tools that I always show in videos. So of course I have my Elliott Waves and the invalidation and everything, but I also use point of controls, right? I use horizontals. I use high time frame point of control, support resistance areas, CVD. Pretty much everything you see in my content is part of my toolbox. Yeah. How to learn Elliott Wave probabilities? That is something you will only master once your Elliott Wave skill level is high enough, because you'll only be able to accurately identify the probabilities once your skill level is of such a degree that you can identify why a scenario has a higher probability than another. And that means you'll be able to, you need to first of all have skill with the Fibonacci's, Fib extensions, volume, wave structures, of course. And then using all of this will lead to a probability based on the respect and with the rules and the guidelines and the fibs and the volume, compared to another scenario which might look less nice, like, oh, this fib is less respected. Oh, the volume is not great there, right? Like, oh, it's invalidated because it hit that level. So yeah, it's your probabilities are a reflection of your skill level, I suppose. Yes. So and it in the beginning, so I I also got into probabilities very late, or not late, it's just part of the process where first I'm learning Elliott waves, I'm trying to get better, I'm shit. I even quit for 2 months in my first year because I didn't get it at the end of my first year. But then I came back again. And yeah, I labeled every correction ABC. I didn't even know what WXY was. And I wasn't able to do anything with probabilities until later, where I really got the hang of Elliott waves. And of course nowadays it's very, very high level, but in the beginning I don't know the probabilities because I can't correctly identify structures. So I can say this is higher probability than another, but the chances are high I am missing things because my skill level is not high enough. So I'll easily miss something, or I do a wrong pull, or I'm not looking at the volume. But as time passes and you learn more, your probabilities will become more and more accurate. And in my content for a year now, I always share the probabilities as well. But I also share in the content, if this, then that. So if we hit this level, probabilities change to X, Y, Z, right? So, and that is stuff that you'll only be able to do once your education, like your skill goes up. So you'll be able to identify what happens if. And that can be like down the line with potentially other tools or not. You can then start to slowly trade Elliott waves. Yeah. There you go. So high blocks liquidation heat map. Trading Queen, happy holiday for the ones that celebrate it. Also to you. Jay Green, welcome. Good to have you here. Looked at the other. If we break through the 618, it is good for growth. If we make another wave down, is that good for growth too? So if we move down, of course, if we take this low, yes, there's the potential for 1, 2, 3, 4, make a wave 5, and then bounce. But that depends on the reaction, because just like here, you can take the low and get a much deeper fall. So basically, if this low is taken, we observe the reaction because you might get another waterfall to the downside. There is the potential for a wave 5. If price then does move to the downside, finds strength and moves up, that is when we can talk about, okay, wave 5 might be in. But if you lose the support here, move down, and you just get a straight line like this here, yeah, we're going to be looking for lower prices. So, of course, after a wave 5, you expect a bit of a bounce. So most positive would be to hit the 618 before taking the low. Yeah. If you take the low now, there might be a finished 5-wave structure and then you move up, but that could still be 1, 2, 3 in, 4, 5. Yeah, you might, probabilities go up for another low then at a later stage. Where do I learn this from the beginning? Elliott Waves is a complex strategy, but I have a very good website that I found when I was learning, which is this one. It's free. It's in the description, not affiliated. It's completely open. If you open a description, you scroll down, go to education, Elliott Wave education. This is the bit.ly/Elliott Wave detailed. Amazing website. Start here, notebook, pen, write everything down and also read the beginning. You will have pictures here with targets of the different waves and stuff as well, which is very good to use. And yeah, this is where I recommend to start. A nice to have, but not necessarily a must have, is the Elliott Wave book of Frost and Prechter, link in the description as well. And the Elliott Wave Gold course is, of course, the course that I have, the membership, which people usually do in a month. So, and then they go either silver, diamond, or quit. But that's where I would start. How to see or use this. I'm long on leverage, but been trying to keep up. Wait, message retraced. Lapse in judgment. Trade save, trade save, trade save. I think the other guy was long as well, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't see his message. I also got to go soon because got to go to the restaurant. Because it's my wife's birthday. So I answered this question as well with regards to how do I learn it. X-Force. Yeah, X-Force is great. X-Force, great guy. Got to know him through Discord, where I once saw his name. Check some stuff on Twitter, and yeah, it's a good guy. A good guy. I actually popped into his live stream yesterday as well to say hi. So yeah, he's an amazing Elliott Wave analyst as well, which I don't say very quickly because there's a lot of people that don't stick to rules and guidelines, but he is one of the few that definitely does. Elliott Wave, fit point, and order block. This you could use this as an order block as one of the confluences. So there's not necessarily a relationship between an Elliott Wave fit point and order block, but if you do find that your Elliott Wave target is at the same level as a order block, it's just a nice additional area of confluence. So I of course have my target boxes always, right? The boxes on the chart, and it's nice that it's nice to see if a box appears in a target area for an Elliott Wave count, because then inside the target area of an like wave C target or whatever target, wave 3, wave 5, you have an area which has the strongest support and you would expect to see it hit. So it can give you a better entry. So yeah, you can just use order blocks in confluence with a Elliott Wave target. CVD tool, it's not on Binance. CVD is the AGGR website. It might be down. It's still down. So AGGR website. First of all, YouTube video is here on my channel, homepage, educational content, this one, right? Where I explain everything about CVD. Then we have a one-pager here, CVD, including the video link. The website is up here, AGGR, and the template is down there. So it's all free. You can just go there. Do you short or mostly long? Both. I go long and short. Just depends on what price shows me. Could you try 1 minute Elliott Wave chart the last 1 hour? I'm not a 1 hour, like 1 minute type of guy. We need John for that. And I need to go, so I don't have the time to do a 1 minute count now though. I like the 15 minutes as the lowest. Prices for the wave 5. Of course, a wave 5 can extend here, right? Which means you might still be in a wave 3. But if we do talk 56.1, 55.4. But that is only for the local, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5 down. But we don't have too much support below here. So if it goes, it might go deeper, no? In other words, when we hit an area like a wave 5 target area, I will never long in that area. I need to wait for proof of support. Else I'm not interested. So even though it might be a wave 5 target, if price moves down here and it just goes down in a straight line, you'll probably have the quickest loss ever, right? So I want to see proof of support, certain levels being hit, local market structure change, CVD, RSI, MACD, whatever you like to use. Okay, everyone, I definitely have to go. Thanks, CFPV. Feeder fish. Okay, spoke about this. I gotta go though. I gotta go. We are going to a restaurant and still gotta get ready and then move. So thanks for watching. Thanks for being here, everyone. It's pretty incredible to see that for almost the whole live stream, we had about 200 people, sometimes going to 180, 200, just above, just like incredible. Thanks everyone for being here. Hopefully you learned a thing or two. And if there's any questions, just write me on like Discord or in the YouTube comment section. And then tonight, probably no update because we are gone for dinner. So yeah, the next update might then be tomorrow morning. With of course a live stream as usual. But thanks for being here. Enjoy your day. Thanks everyone for the thanks. It's always a pleasure delivering the Elliott Wave stuff to you. And let's see what we get locally, no? Have a good one. Trade safe.